Hi everyone, it's been a while since I've recorded or posted a video. This is my really super elegant blanket look. I'm currently at a friend's house and it's really damn cold here, so yeah, I'm pulling an Eskimo for the night. But anyway, in awesome news, I got my name change, which is awesome, and so now my name is legally Gwydion. Also, I start tea next week, which is just amazing. Like, I can't even really believe it's happening at this stage. I don't think it's really sunk in yet that I start tea next week. So yeah, it's been pretty full on this last fortnight, besides all the transition stuff, and kind of including the transition stuff, but I'll get to that in a minute. We signed up as Tupperware demonstrator, and also I got kicked out of my house. And that's kind of where the other trans stuff comes in, because this video I was wanting to talk a bit about transphobia and how pervasive it is, and often how subtle it is, because it's not always overt. Like, I think a lot of times you kind of hear about transphobia and you immediately think people being really overt about it, sort of insults or kind of like really overt treatment, sort of negativity and stuff. But I really experienced transphobia in its more subtle form, which is when people are transphobic and they don't even really know it. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this week. So besides that, this video, I guess, sort of going back to the happy stuff, this video is also my last video I'm going to make before I start tea. So from next video onwards, I'll probably be doing about 2 videos a month, and we'll record the changes as they come along, which I'm sure will make my mum happy, because she's been a bit freaking out, but in a good way. So yeah. So anyway, this transphobia, this is kind of where I got kicked out of my house, I think. I moved in a while back with a house that looked really awesome, like a share house, and the guy there was at pains to reassure me and the others living there that it was a very safe place to be. Now, one person on my live journal actually said that immediate statement would have put them off straight away because it sounds weird, but to me, as a counsellor and as a counselling student, that actually sounded kind of awesome when I first heard it. I mean, in counselling you often say stuff like that to establish boundaries and to establish like space, safe space. You do it overtly. There's no need to kind of just pretend it's there or make it there without being overt. So I was kind of really hopeful about this house, but pretty soon it became clear that the main lead tenant living there, he was a bit funny about it from the start. He didn't really get the whole concept that you could be trans and gay. He didn't also really get the concept that to be transgender you don't necessarily have to be transsexual, and there is a difference. Or I think there's a difference anyway. For me, I very much identify as transgender. I don't really identify as a man as such, because if I identified as just a man, that would deny my whole female past, and I'm not really willing to do that. I also know that there's going to be things about me that are not male, sort of biologically speaking, physically speaking, chromosomally speaking. I very much see myself as, and want to be, something in between, I think. So he didn't really get that either, and his transphobia was, some of it was subtle, some of it was overt. The overt stuff, and this, for anyone who's not trans or watching this video, this is something I think to be wary of, either you or other people you hear saying stuff like it. Gender policing, it's not fun. Like, I happen to own a couple of pairs of pink bikini briefs, because people do, like, I just got them as presents, and I don't care enough about my underwear to switch from wearing them now and then. I'm currently wearing white bikini briefs, if you must know. And the pink ones, right, I was hanging them out to dry, and one of my housemates was like, whose pink undies are these? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're mine. And then she had a go at me about my maleness because I happen to own a pair of pink underwear. That's the kind of subtle stuff that can happen. I mean, she didn't really mean anything by it, and when I spoke to her about it, she kind of went, oh my god, I didn't even think when I said that. You know, I didn't actually think what I was doing. And I said, yeah, you know, it happens, don't worry about it. And she never did it again. But what this guy did frequently was he would very earnestly compare me to guys that he's known, like bio guys he's known. And also he did the whole, I knew someone who was trans once and you're nothing like them, which was really, really annoying because he used to do it a lot. And in his case, he knew this trans woman and basically judged all trans people based on his experience with this one trans woman, which is really, really offensive in a number of ways, not only to me as a trans guy, but also to this person he knew, because he was using her as some kind of standard to measure her, or to measure other trans people. And I don't know, like, I would not ever want to be used as a yardstick, and I don't imagine any trans person would be terribly impressed if they were sort of used as a yardstick by people who don't really know much about the experience, and certainly if they were being used as a yardstick for someone who is transitioning to a different gender. I mean, it's kind of silly to compare the experiences of a trans woman and a trans man, because even though they are both transgender, the experience of becoming their preferred gender or their true gender or true sex as they feel it is extremely different. It's really, really not the same thing. And he kept sort of going on about this woman and, you know, how I wasn't like her, and I was like, well, yeah, because I'm not actually transitioning to be a woman. And stuff like that used to happen a lot. It also came out in more subtle ways with him, mostly through competing. It was like he was always trying to test my masculinity. And that was really frustrating because I'm actually a very non-competitive person. I really don't like competing for resources or for energy or for time. I just, you know, it really drives me nuts. And this guy just would not stop. And he would do stupid things, like once he just wore my boots out of the house. I have a pair of like black army boots that I wear for military reenactment. And he just wore them to a club and he didn't ask me. And he came home and then kind of went, oh, you know, I just tried them on and they fit so well I couldn't help it, I had to wear them out. But that kind of stuff, to me, it's really passive-aggressive power games, and not with all people, but definitely with this guy, I would say they were gender-based. There's just a way, I don't know, it's like an energy almost that you can kind of feel off a person when they're kind of competing with you in a kind of gendered manner. And I thought that was really sad, because this guy, he was sort of, I guess, older generation gay guy, and he just didn't get it. Like, he didn't get the way in which a person can be something other than their prescribed gender or one sexuality. They just sort of... He didn't really get the whole genderqueer thing. It was just a bit of a farce, really, and that culminated actually with him getting really, really drunk, because he'd been drinking a lot. And, yeah, basically throwing me out of the house in the end, which wasn't great. I have to say, I've been really, really stressed these last couple of weeks. But the good that's come out of it is that now I have a couple of friends, because the other people in that house were really, really nice and very supportive. And, you know, I've learned a lot through it. I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about how to negotiate this kind of subtle gender policing and gender politics, because there was a lot of it at this last place. So yeah, that's pretty much my update for now. Pretty crazy to think next time I'm going to be on, I'm going to have probably been on tea for a week or two. So we're going to see how it goes, and yeah, take care everyone.